My name is Matt Lutka. I'm the Department Chair of Computer Science and Engineering. And I just want to say good evening to all of you and thank you for joining us for this investiture ceremony for the John R. Koza Endowed Chair in Genetics, Genetic Programming. This marks an exciting and important moment, not only in the history of the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, but also the Beacon Center for the study of evolution in action, the college engineering, and just the entire university. It's an exciting time for it. We have a slight change in the program I want to announce for this evening. I regret to inform you that John Koza will not be able to join, but we are recording tonight's ceremony to share with him. Also, Provost June Yuat will not be here, but we are pleased to be joined by Dr. Satish Luthra, who's the Executive Vice President for Administrative Services. Today's investiture ceremony marks the formal welcome to our newest endowed chair in the College of Engineering and also celebrates the vision of John R. Koza. Our program will touch briefly on the importance of the endowed funds and faculty members, the long-term impact that endowed positions have on continued excellence in the university environment, and just the remarkable individual who made this endowment possible. We're welcome to hear from our newest member of our team afterwards, Dr. Wolfgang Bonshoff. And with the appointment of Dr. Bonshoff to the John R. Koza Endowed Chair, the Department of Computer Science and Engineering will be forever changed. As you will hear from our next speakers, the establishment of this position is a significant step for us and one that will affect us for generations to come. So without further ado, I'd like to now welcome, turn the program over to our College of Engineering Dean, Leo Kelly.
Matt, thank you very much, and good evening and welcome to all of you. We're here for a number of reasons today, the biggest of which, of course, is to recognize Wolfgang as the first Koza Endowed Chair in the College of Engineering. On behalf of the entire faculty, allow me to offer my congratulations to Dr. Bonshoff and to welcome him and his beautiful wife Pia to Michigan State University. We're thrilled to have you here. Another important reason for today's ceremony is to recognize and thank John Koza. It's fitting that the Koza name is attached to this prestigious endowed position, as he is a pioneer in the field of genetic programming. I had a wonderful meeting with John this past spring in Silicon Valley. While there, we had a discussion including reminiscing about our time spent at that school that must not be named. In talking to him, I saw firsthand his passion for genetic programming. John's vast reputation on the topic has coined him as the father of genetic programming. He is the author of the classic textbook, Genetic Programming. I see a theme here. This groundbreaking book shows how this remarkable paradigm works and provides substantial empirical evidence that solutions to a large variety of problems from numerous fields can be found by genetically breeding populations of computer programs. John was also fascinated to learn about the details of our search for the John Koza chair position and was quite pleased on our decision to hire Dr. Bonshoff. The Koza endowment and the endowed chair position empowers us to expand and enhance great work being done here that will pay dividends for years to come. I want to thank John again for all that he's done and continues to do on behalf of the field. I'd like to emphasize how much your vision strengthens the College of Engineering and our ability to attract and retain not only an eminent scholar like Dr. Bonshoff, but also top graduate students who will study under him, and an increasingly strong pool of junior faculty who will be drawn to his mentorship. The Koza Endowed Chair will help guarantee the continued capacity of our faculty to grow its national reputation as a leader in genetic programming and evolutionary computation. We're looking forward to great things. I'd like to now turn the program over to the Executive Vice President for Administrative Services for Michigan State University and former Dean of Engineering, Satish Luthra.
Thank you, Leo, for that introduction. Let me begin by
conveying some regrets. The president and the provost very much wanted to be a part of this event, but unfortunately they cannot. The president is traveling in Traverse City today attending an event, and the provost is right now at the airport, in some airport in Texas, so she can't be here either. So I'm extremely pleased to be here today and welcome Dr. Banzhaf to Michigan State and to congratulate him on his installation as the first COSA chair. As most of you know, Dr. Banzhaf is among the most renowned computer scientists in the world studying genetic programming. Indeed, I have one of his books on my shelf. So I'd like to take this opportunity also to thank John COSA for his role in making this position a reality. John's gift is a remarkable commitment to the great work being done at MSU's Beacon Center for the Study of Evolution in Action, which is funded by the National Science Foundation and led by Professor Eric Goodman, my colleague and professor in electrical and computer engineering. This continuity of purpose, if you will, passing the baton of academic excellence from one generation to the next, is at the heart of MSU's endowment program. Today's investiture underscores the importance of endowed funds and endowed faculty members to the university. Given their permanence, endowments assure excellence by making certain that quality research, quality teaching, and quality outreach can be conducted in perpetuity. Regardless of the ebb and flow of the economy, our work must endure and continue through both good and challenging times. Endowment dollars enable us to recruit and support excellent students and world-class faculty members by providing a steady, consistent, and permanent source of income. Such funds also strengthen our ability to grow and nurture the areas of scholarship and research to which they are committed. Consistent funding also provides administrators and faculty with the ability to strategically align these resources to where they have the greatest impact and success regardless of where the need arises. So endowed positions are a hallmark of every great university. They are an investment in MSU that shows the world that we are committed, that we are focused, and that we are a leader in academic excellence. When others look at Michigan State University, they see something very, very powerful. They see a strong foundation for continued excellence and a sustained commitment to making a real difference in the lives of students, faculty, and staff. Today we celebrate adding another layer of stability and excellence to our university as we confer this endowed chair upon Wolfgang and welcome him to the MSU community. I'd now like to turn over the program to the director of MSU's Beacon Center for the Study of Evolution in Action, Professor Goodman.
Thank you very much. The tale of the John COSA Endowed Chair goes back to the 60s at that place that shall not be mentioned, yes. And where John and I both studied under the late John Holland, the father of genetic algorithms. And Holland's assembly of biologists, philosophers, linguists, computer scientists into one of the first computer science departments in the country was a brilliant forerunner for what has now been recreated in Beacon. He really set the example for what we're trying to do in bringing these disciplines together. He guided the vision that we used in putting together the Beacon proposal in the first place. In fact, we were strongly influenced by what he had done. And John COSA and I were both deeply inspired by his view of complex systems and evolution. And it really, for both of us, determined the remainder of our careers. That inspiration planted the seeds for COSA's invention of genetic programming in the late 80s, as has been referred to. And later, and actually during that time and beforehand, and since, my work in genetic algorithms, genetic programming, and so forth, that played a key role in establishing a Beacon. So John has done an unbelievable amount of work to assure the future of genetic programming, not only through this endowed chair, but in many other ways. And when he looked around the country for a place to establish an endowed chair, Beacon was already flourishing. And I remember very clearly one afternoon, I got a phone call from John Koza saying, you know, I've been thinking about endowing a chair at Michigan State University at Beacon, and I was, well, speechless, let's put it that way. This is not something that we approached him about. He actually came to us with the idea. I know Stephen would be very happy if more people would do that. But it was wonderful. And so it didn't take him long to convince me that we wanted to do that. So, but long before Beacon, John and I had worked together on forging a new professional society, which is called ACM Sig Evo, the Special Interest Group on Genetic and Evolutionary Computation. And that unified genetic programming, genetic algorithms, and many other forms of evolutionary computation into a single society and conference. And John and Dave Goldberg, who was planning to be here tonight, unfortunately couldn't make it, and I were among the key leaders in organizing that new conference and society, along with someone else who's present here, Uname O'Reilly, who gave the keynote address this morning when John was not able to be here for health reasons. So we thank her very much for stepping in for John. She did a wonderful job. And there was another person involved in that. Oh yeah, Wolfgang Matzhoff. Yes, yeah. And he was a member of the ISG's executive committee, which was the former society, and went into many leadership positions, just completed recently a term as the third chairperson for the ACM Sig Evo, and is still very much involved in the leadership of that society, for which we're very grateful. I want to take a brief look at Wolfgang's history. He got his PhD from an outstanding institution, University of Dortmund in Germany, and then joined them on the faculty. He worked with Hans Paul Schwefel, one of the giants of the field. In 1999, he was the founding editor-in-chief of a journal called Genetic Programming and Evolvable Machines. That was a landmark in our area. In the year 2000, his first book, Genetic Programming: An Introduction, was published, and that book introduced many students to genetic programming. In 2003, he was elected a senior fellow of the International Society for Genetic and Evolutionary Computation. In 2007, his book Linear Genetic Programming introduced the country to, and the world to, a new type of genetic programming using linear representations rather than the trees that had been an integral part of John Koza's earlier work. Wolfgang edited many books, wrote lots of book chapters, journal articles, and conference papers, many of which have been frequently cited, and he has had a lasting impact on the field. In 2007, he received the Evo Star Award for outstanding contributions in the field of evolutionary computation in Europe. He became department head of the Department of Computer Science at Memorial University of Newfoundland from 2003 to 2009. Then was named in 2010 University Research Professor by that university, which is their highest faculty honor. And then again served another term as head of the department when they figured out that they really did need him to do that. And he just completed that term very recently. But in the meantime, in 2015, his new book on artificial chemistries was published. And so many of us in Beacon are eager to learn a lot more about that topic, which is very new and interesting from Wolfgang. In 2014, John Koza endowed the faculty chair, and we began the search process for the person to hold that chair. And that culminated in the selection of Wolfgang as the first John R. Koza Endowed Chair in Genetic Programming. And as Satish said, we're all confident that he will do a tremendous job, contribute to Beacon and Michigan State University, and we look forward to working with him. Now, at this point, I would love to be introducing John Koza to say a few words. He couldn't be here, but we're going to hear from him anyway by video. And I will just say that before playing the video, John made a large series of videos where he was teaching genetic programming. And on all of those videos, his signature trademark was wearing a red and white striped shirt. And we all laughed about that. So when I contacted him about making this video, I said to him, now John, you certainly don't have to wear that red and white striped shirt.
This is not blue.
Yeah, right. But that was plenty of motivation for him to dig out that shirt and put it on. So here's John.
It's been a privilege to be associated with the Beacon program at Michigan State University, directed by my friend of 50 years, Eric Goodman, and strongly supported by Dean Kemple and the university administration. At a conference about 20 years ago, my ears perked up while listening to an innovative talk on biologically inspired computing given by Wolfgang Granzow. Wolfgang has been an outstanding scholar, researcher, teacher, founding editor of the Genetic Programming and Evolvable Hardware Journal, and author and co-author of numerous books and papers. I congratulate Wolfgang on his appointment at Michigan State and hope and expect to see a continuing flow of results from both the Beacon program and him.
And now it's my pleasure to present to you the first John R. Koza Endowed Chair in Genetic Programming, Wolfgang Granzow.
Thank you very much for all your friendly words tonight and your welcome at the university. Dear Vice President Dr. Uta, dear Dean Dr. Kemple, dear Dr. Bodmer, dear Dr. Goodman, and dear John, dear Dr. Koza, all dignitaries and assembled guests, dear Beaconites and friends, Beaconites. What a great honor it is for me to be installed as the first John R. Koza Chair for Genetic Programming at Michigan State University. I'm thrilled to join you here as a new colleague who wants to contribute to thriving campus life and to the scientific reputation of this renowned university. Thank you all for coming today and for enjoying this moment together. This new chair is the first that is officially dedicated to evolutionary computation in the United States. Given the uneasy history of acceptance of Darwin's theory in this nation, what an achievement. I think we should all bath in the joy of this step forward. To be clear, I believe that faith and religion have their place in human nature. They are deeply rooted in us and even have gained evolutionary reputation as of late. I just don't believe that there's a conflict between science and faith when it comes to Darwinian evolution. Myself, I am a practicing Catholic, but that has never been in the way of my dialogue with people of different personal convictions. My dear friend James Foster, who is in the audience, can probably attest to that. This new chair is dedicated to a particular branch of evolutionary computation, to genetic programming, or GP for short. Dr. John Koza has coined the name for the new area and established it through his work in the late 80s and early 90s. He started to publish conference papers, and we heard this morning technical reports, in the 80s, and developed a book on the topic, which appeared in 1992 with MIT Press. I was lucky enough to get one of the first copies. In fact, when I received my copy in a bookshop near to MIT in Cambridge where I worked, the bookseller stated that the copy had just arrived and was still warm from the printing press. I couldn't really experimentally confirm that, but that was what he said. What is genetic programming? Briefly, in genetic programming, we breed programs rather than writing them by hand. This way, we hope to automate a process that to this day is very much a manual art. Along the way, we hope to endow computers with some type of intelligence, as when computers program themselves, given functional goals. Breeding is very close to the theory of natural selection. It is artificial selection. But Darwin himself learned a lot from pigeon fanciers. He used to go and interview them for how they would work in order to learn for formulating his theory. Producing code this way frees humans to do the creative part. What do we really want from the behavior of the machine? What should be the goal of the processing? So while this idea on the surface looks as if it threatens human labor, it actually amplifies our effects and allows us to do more interesting things. However, the importance of the field reaches beyond code and virtual of software. Any kind of structure that after being put together becomes active, think of machines, can be subjected to the GP process of evolution, hopefully producing improved versions of design that can be used in our physical environment. We realized that early on, and intentionally called the scientific journal we founded Genetic Programming and Evolvable Machines. Recent progress in the field demonstrates that human-written code can be repaired by GP. And not only that, pieces of human-written code also can be successfully combined in new and surprising ways. I refer to what's called genetic improvement of programs and the energy that this idea injected into the field of genetic programming. While previously one would start from random code, this new method allows us to start from existing working code, getting a head start on its function. And there are people out there that say every little piece of code that exists has already been written, and it's just a combination of the pieces of code that make new functions being produced. So this is a very promising area. The chair position, the COSA chair position, will allow me to contribute to this research and to provide hopefully useful avenues for GP. In particular, the Beacon Center is what attracted me to Michigan State University. Being a member of Beacon allows me to interact with leading researchers in evolution in action, and I'm looking forward to working with you and to contribute to the success of this singular center in the country. Those of you who know me are aware that I'm also fascinated by the origin of life. Life and evolution are intimately connected, to the point where the terms are sometimes used interchangeably. I'm therefore particularly glad that there's a large group of scientists here at MSU that is interested in this topic. It is wonderful to be among you, and I very much look forward to our collaboration. I see this chair as coming with special responsibility. It should have effects beyond Michigan State University or the state of Michigan. From the Canadian province I am coming from, it is well known that beacons can be life-saving. So I look forward to contribute to Beacon's activities and to add my voice to the chorus of those arguing for the scientific approach to understanding of life, society, and the environment. In the Middle Ages, facts and opinions were not separated. that has changed through the Enlightenment. Let's keep that achievement. Let me close by expressing my sincere gratitude for the opportunity offered to me by this chair. First and foremost, I would like to thank Eric, you, for your tireless work to make Beacon a success. It is a huge effort to propose such an NSF center. It is even more work to run it, and you achieved this with such gracefulness and candor. I really admire you for this. To you and to John Koza, who join us here in particular, for taking the initiative to found this endowed chair. I truly regret, John, that you couldn't come here tonight. But let me assure you that your generosity for sponsoring this chair is very much appreciated, and I'm confident that I shall not disappoint you. To my chair colleague, Dr. Kalyan Dad, to Dean Campo, and to all of you at MSU and Beacon, thank you for welcoming me with open arms. Last but not least, I would like to thank my wife Pia for her unwavering support over these years. Without you, I would not be standing here. And I truly hope that you will enjoy being at MSU yourself. It will not take long for the university to discover how lucky they are to have you. Thank you all again for coming tonight and celebrating this event.
So now the formal ceremony. I wish to thank John Koza for making this possible, and thanks each for having the time. But we finally welcome Dr. Wantoff to our department, to our college, and to our university. So that's the end of the formal program, and at this point, I would invite you to the reception that I understand is in the Lincoln Room. At least I am told so. So please join us all in the Lincoln Room across the hallway. Thank you for coming.